This one feels good. This one feels really, really good because at long last, after a month-long saga, Enzo Fernandez is going to be a Chelsea player. We've gotten the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. It's all we need to know. This move is done, and Enzo Fernandez will be signing for Chelsea in the next few hours. And yeah, I mean, today alone felt like a month. I can't lie, because genuinely, at the 11th hour of deadline day, it just felt like I was refreshing Twitter all day. I was in work, literally sat there refreshing Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein's timelines, just waiting for any sort of update that could confirm that Enzo Fernandez was close to joining Chelsea. And yeah, just literally spent my evening after I came home from work, from 5 o'clock onwards, literally just waiting and waiting and waiting for any sort of updates on Enzo Fernandez. And at long last, I think at 9:55 p.m. or something like that, I don't know how I know that, to be honest, but we finally got the breakthrough. Enzo Fernandez, here we go to Chelsea, and yeah, as you can tell, I'm absolutely buzzing, as is every other Chelsea fan on the planet. And yeah, overall, I think that, it's quite obvious he will be a brilliant signing for us. I mean, he's only 22 years of age. He won the Golden Boy Award, the Young Player of the Tournament Award at the World Cup just a month ago. A World Cup winning midfielder at the age of 22 years of age, and was absolutely integral in Argentina's World Cup win. And yeah, has got absolute bags of potential. Even still, before the World Cup, he was doing absolute wonders for Benfica, and yeah, even still was a very good talent coming out of River Plate last season as well. So yeah, a very, very promising signing for us. 120 million euros, obviously not cheap, but he is a quality player from what I've seen of him, and I think is exactly what we need in this Chelsea team at this moment in time, which is a midfielder who can create chances from deep, and his on the ball play is absolutely brilliant. In terms of pinging the ball over the top, just keeping possession for the team, moving the ball really well, and I think actually has some defensive capabilities to him as well. And to be fair, I think he reminds me, from what I've seen of him so far, a little bit of Cesc Fabregas when Cesc Fabregas was at Chelsea in his pomp, in terms of being able to create from deep, being almost a deep line playmaker in midfield. And I think if we get a proper holding midfielder next to him during the summer, a proper six who can be a literal destroyer and just be the one who mainly breaks up play and wins back possession, I think that himself and Enzo can really form an unbelievable partnership in midfield, and can be, a dominant midfield for years to come in this Chelsea system. The only thing I will say about this Enzo Fernandez transfer is obviously it's a massive price tag, and with a massive price tag, especially being the club record transfer fee for this club, comes a lot of pressure. And can he deal with it at 22 years of age? Wait, remains to be seen. Obviously he's a World Cup winner at the age of 22, so maybe that'll play some factor in relieving a bit of pressure and showing that he can deal with pressure at the highest level. And the fact as well, I know everyone says it's a really Brexit take if anything, but I think it's logical to suggest that he is coming from a foreign league, he is coming from a league outside the top 5 leagues in the world, and he is a young guy coming to a new country, a new culture, so it's natural that he might struggle at the start. But yeah, that all remains to be seen. I think we've got ourselves a cracking player in Enzo Fernandez, and to be honest, I don't think we would have paid this money if we weren't sure that he was going to hit the ground running and was going to be a successful signing over the course of his Chelsea tenure. And yeah, just to be fair, the main thing I actually want to say about this signing is just Todd Bowley, Paul Winstonley, Bedad Iqbali, Joe Shields, everyone involved in the fucking board deserves absolutely magnificent praise for how they got this deal done and the timing of it as well. I mean, it's just absolutely monumental, and the fact they all flew over to Portugal to have a meeting with Benfica to convince Rui Costa, who was so stubborn in terms of the entirety of the negotiations. We finally got it done, and credit to them, they've been absolutely world class in their negotiations and their dealings throughout this January transfer window, and they deserve all the credit, to be honest. And yeah, the fact that we were able to convince Enzo Fernandez to be obsessed, in quotations from Fabrizio Romano, with this Chelsea move, given the fact we're 10th in the Premier League, have been absolutely dire all season so far, I think just speaks volumes of where Todd Bowley wants us to be and how he sold these players this project, which is just absolutely unbelievable. I don't know what the fuck he's saying to these guys, to be fair, but whatever he's saying, it must be absolutely ridiculous. Because yeah, to sell this project to players in 10th place in the Premier League with absolutely no hope whatsoever on the pitch in terms of the last 3-4 months, we've been absolutely hopeless at all ends of the pitch, really, in every aspect. And to convince players to join us over other clubs, I think is just absolutely monumental work from Todd Bowley. And yes, I know money is a factor, of course, because we have spent way more than any other club in the last 6 months or so, but I just think that's besides the point. I think the project is absolutely brilliant at Chelsea at this moment in time by the looks of it, and the players we're bringing in obviously makes us very optimistic as Chelsea fans going forward. And look, is this the best January transfer window of all time by any club in any league? I would say so, yes, unless you can think of a better one. Leave it down in the comment section below. Feel free to, counteract me on this point, but I just cannot think of any club who's even come close to the success that Chelsea have, achieved in this January transfer window. When you think of João Felix on loan, Mikhailo Mudryk, Benoit Badiashile, getting Christopher Nkunku and Malo Gusto in for next season. Then you have Enzo Fernandez on deadline day. You even have Andre Santos and David Datro Fofana, the young talents coming in as well. I've even gone and forgot fucking Noni Madueke, so if that doesn't show how many signings we've made this window, I don't know what does. Just an absolutely sensational window, and yes, I know it cost us a pretty penny, but I think it'll be money well spent, to be fair, in terms of the age of the players we've brought in. The profile of the players we've brought in are exactly what we need, and yeah, I think these players that have come in are the start of what might be Chelsea building their next elite team. If you think of Mourinho's first team from 2004 to around 2007, then you think of the second team when Mourinho came in between 2014 to 2015 when we won the Premier League that season. And look, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, and maybe these players might flop because, of course, as Chelsea fans, we're pretty used to big money signings, flopping when they weren't expected to flop. But I'm just hoping the new scouting system can be the ones to finally get it right in the transfer market, and Chelsea can get back to being successful and winning Premier League titles as soon as bloody possible, and that the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Mikhailo Mudryk, Benoit Badiashile, Christopher Nkunku, João Felix can be part of that squad and be big integral parts of that team that goes on to win Premier League titles, hopefully. And yeah, in terms of the January transfer window, I think it solved pretty much the biggest issue that we had as Chelsea fans and watching our team play week in, week out, which was the creativity issue. I mean, you think of it, we lacked any sort of creativity. We were creating absolutely all up until the January transfer window, and even still to a certain extent now, aren't really creating that many chances because obviously these players haven't been given a run out yet. But if you think of Mudryk, who's a creative player, can create out of absolutely nothing with his blistering pace and his dribbling ability. Madueke the same, João Felix a creative player, Enzo Fernandez a creative player from deep, and Nkunku a very creative player as he's shown for Leipzig in the Champions League and the Bundesliga. And I just hope now we can have a good, successful second half of the season. I don't think top four is within our reach at this moment in time. I think we're basically playing to go as far as we can in the Champions League, to be fair. I mean, stranger things have happened. We might get into the Champions League, but I just can't see it happening at this moment in time. I think it's a little bit beyond us at this stage, and I think we're mainly using the second half of the season as a really extended, pre-season for next year, really. But yeah, I'm just hoping Graham Potter can get it right, especially with the fact we've got Reece James, Chilwell, Kante, Sterling, Fofana all coming back. So we've kind of got ourselves a full team, or at least will do in the next few weeks. So I think it could be a really intriguing time, and I'd really like to see Graham Potter really get the best out of this Chelsea team and really, change his opinion from the Chelsea fan base. And yeah, that's essentially it for this video. So Chelsea fans, if you are excited, make sure to drop a like on this video. That would be massively appreciated. It means more than you guys could ever imagine. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would also be massively appreciated. We are so close now to hitting 1,800 subscribers on this channel. So every single one of you that does hit that subscribe button helps me out massively and gets us there as quick as possible. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. And yeah, Enzo Fernandez is a Chelsea player. What a night. And yeah, good night.